Okay, it's time for a new video. Well, this is kind of a rant video. Well, kind of anyway. First of all, I want to apologise if I sound a bit husky. Still recovering from the flu, so I kind of got a bunged up nose and my throat is slightly sore. So if you do hear me like having a dry cough, I do apologise, and for any sneezing that may happen. So just want to apologise for that. Anyway, the subject matter that I wanted to talk about was politics, and usually I don't like to talk about politics because on my channel it's usually about, just for people just to come and enjoy themselves. But this isn't necessarily about which side you're on in the terms of whether it's left or right, but it's in terms of some of these people I've seen about well, especially I'll be using the UK as an example because that's where I am at the moment, and it's of obviously the current government that's in charge, obviously the Conservatives. A lot of people feel that they're failing the actual country in terms of whether it's crime or the price increases or scandals that kind of go on. So obviously you have people that that want to get rid of them, and then obviously you've got the different there are different parties that are around, with their nearest rivals being Labour. And the issue that I've had with some of these political people is that it's not about choosing which side of the fence to kind of go on, because at the end of the day that's your personal choice, good or bad. It's when I've seen some of them will attack the current government, which rightfully so, on a lot of things that they're kind of doing. So in terms of what's going on with the cost of living and stuff like that, and that's fine. And with any government, if you're not happy with what any of them are doing, you get rid of them, and then you give someone else a chance. And obviously if they don't do it, and obviously in this country they get 4 years, and then after that you get another general election. But anyway, so the nearest party, I suppose you could say, is Labour. But then you get some of these political analysts saying, oh, they don't like Labour either, and they don't like the leader on some of the stuff that they do, which again is fine, right? And I remember we've got a general election coming up in about a year and a half, I think, or just over. It's not that too far away, but I don't mind people criticising different parties, whether they're left or right, or in terms of and who you have to vote, who you're going to vote for. But it's what they're doing is that they'll criticise the current government, they'll criticise Labour, which, if it's justified, that's fine. But then what they're not doing is that they're not giving you another alternative of who you should vote for. Now, if they will sit there and say, what, the current government is doing a bad job, they need to go. Obviously the nearest party after that is Labour. And let's say the argument is that the policies aren't too far different from the Tories. So in their eyes it's not going to be that much different. Let's use that as an example. and so they're not kind of good. And again, if it's justified in a justification, again, that's fine. But outside of that, if you're not telling somebody or giving somebody a alternative of what they should do if these parties aren't good enough, then how do you expect things to change? It's almost like me giving you advice on something and telling you, look, don't buy this, don't buy that, this is the reason why. But I'm not giving you an alternate thing to get because I believe that particular product isn't good enough. And I know it's difficult because there's not a lot of parties these days. There's not a lot of new parties, believe it or not. And I know it's kind of very difficult in terms of voting. And then sometimes in terms of voting, it's kind of better the devil you know, and whoever is in charge. Sometimes you'd like to think that if they're gotten rid of, I mean, especially that they have a huge defeat, that maybe that they might learn from it and bet themselves the next time around. But as I said, I don't mind the criticism and people criticising the current government, and then you can criticise the alternative that's available. But if you're not liking them and you're attacking the current government and the alternative, and then you're not giving people choices on what they can vote for to want real change, then how do you expect how do you expect things to actually change in this world, or in this country, should I say, or in the world in general? I mean, this could apply anywhere, and this is the problem I have with people, where they're telling you, oh, don't do this, don't do that, but they're not telling you what you could be doing, or what other choices that are available on the table. So if you're not going to vote for either one of them, you may as well just not vote. You'll probably get hung Parliament, and also you're going to get all these problems. As I said before, it's not an easy process and who you kind of want to vote for, because as we know in politics around the world, it doesn't matter where you go. There is a lot of greed that's kind of going on, and then there's a lot of these people that will tell you what you want to hear, but as soon as they get into power, as we all know with MPs, none of them even care anyway, and then they'll all break their promises. But it's up to us as the people, who politicians are our mouthpiece. We hold them accountable, and we have the power to change things if we try to change things. But again, as I noticed, too many people sit there, spout about on social media about what they're gonna do and what they don't like. But when it comes to actually doing something, they just don't do anything. So it's like they're all mouth and basically no action. So yeah, that's my piece on it. Again, I'm all for the criticism, regardless of the party's right or left. But if none of them are serving the needs of the people, you have to give people a alternate things to do, or to think, or to vote, so that real change can happen. So, that's my little 2 pence piece worth of my view on politics. But I'm tired of, it's not just this, I'm tired of people saying things, but they're not giving you an alternate plan in kind of doing something in life, and so you're just left in limbo. So yeah, that's my little rant over.